Well, thank you all for coming out. We're going to do a roundtable and talk with the folks at this table who know these issues best. And I'm going to pass the microphone over to Patty, who's going to lead the discussion, and then we're going to take some questions, and I'm happy to talk about why I'm here and why the California Department of Justice cares about what is happening in this community. So I'm going to pass the mic over.
I'm Penny Newman, the Executive Director with the Center for Community Action and Environmental Justice, and we are so pleased to have the Attorney General here and filing to enter in and intervene in our lawsuit and join with us in trying to fight for the health and well-being of these families who have been targeted with this project of 24 industrial warehouses right at their fence line. They've been struggling with this issue for over 9 years, culminating in May with the County of Riverside giving final approval to it, despite the fact that it violates its own general plan, that it didn't address mitigation measures, that it didn't look at other alternatives, and that this was a very discriminatory act that was taking place. We have stopped warehouses, 700 acres of them, next to homes that were primarily Caucasian. And yet, in this situation where they are directly next to the houses, they saw absolutely no problem in moving forward with this. And it is that total disregard for these families that has brought us to filing this case. And we are ecstatic that the Attorney General has stepped forward to join with us in addressing this injustice. We have with us some of the residents from Mira Loma Village, and I'd like to have them tell you a little bit about what they have gone through and what their situations are. Jacinto, would you like to start?
Well, my name is Jacinto Munoz, and I've been living in Mira Loma for 3 years, and I see what it's affecting to my neighbors over there, and not just me. If you look behind me, there's a children that asking for help up there, and not just us, you know. I wish if you take some pictures of those asking for help, and there's all those children that need our community to protect them, you know, and help them to get it, whatever help they can get, you know. And all these warehouses around us and all those trucks, it's not helping anything. But, you know, I know there's some people that's listening to us and is try to help us. I really appreciate it, you know, all these moments. Thank you.
Deborah?
Hi, I'm Deborah Turkelson. I lived in the village for about 5 years. I've also lived in the area for many years growing up around there. And with all these trucks going in and the warehouses going in, the lifestyle, the air quality, the traffic, it's just getting worse and worse. And your children can't even go outside and play in their own yards. The pollution is so bad. And you don't see the kids outside because the pollution. We need to do something about it. We need to stop this. We need to make it better for our children and other children. Thank you.
My name is Stella Portillo. I've been in the Mira Loma Village since '69. I moved to Mira Loma in 1957, so I've been there quite a while. I'd like to thank you for coming to hear our voices, because really no one has really heard what we've been going through. We have too many warehouses, and they want to build more around our area. There's a lot of children there that do have asthma, and I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. Just tell us what we need to know, because you know more than we do.
Yeah.
We need to hear from you.
Well, what we don't need are more warehouses, more trucks. Eddie Wanda is already full. I don't know whether you've been down there. We've asked supervisors from Riverside to go look at our area, and they have not come at all. They sort of ignore us. It is the traffic, the noise, and most of all, I'm since I work with the schools, I'm more concerned for the children growing up in our area, and then knowing that they're going to build more warehouses. So that brings more trucks. I'm not against the truck drivers or anything like that, but it's not an area where we need more warehouses. We need your help because of what we're breathing right now. And there's a time when the wind will change and we're breathing fumes. So we need your help.
I know you went out and met with some of the residents there in the village, and you see just how personal it is. And I've asked Jacinto if he would just talk a little bit about his daughter, and it's very hard sometimes to talk about the personal part.
Okay.
But he's been
Okay,
courageous enough to do that.
It's hard for me to talk about it, but I mean, okay. Say it's hard for me to talk about it, but I mean, I do it to help out this community. You know, I'm kind of shy and everything, but I mean, I would like to share this story. I had a daughter that she was 15 years old, and she died before she was 15 years old. And instead of planning for her 15 years old birthday, I was planning for her funeral. And not because she died of lung cancer. Sometimes it's hard to talk. It's hard for me to talk about it, but if this can help, I'm just telling my story, and that's what happened.
15-year-olds shouldn't die of lung cancer, and that's why we're here. That's why we're fighting.
We've got some other folks at the table, and I want to just give them an opportunity to be heard. One is our friend from the Environmental Protection Agency who traveled here to be with us.
Good afternoon. I'm Stephen John, and I'm with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. I'm director of the Southern California Field Office located in Los Angeles. And when this issue came out for these warehouses by the state review with an environmental impact review, it's very unusual that EPA actually comments on state documents. We don't have an authority to do that, but we are actually strongly compelled to do so because we are very concerned about the issues that were happening in this community. We've had a long relationship with this community because of our great concerns about air quality down here. This is an area that is an extreme non-attainment for ozone, for particulate matter, and has a significant impact on the residents. And this is an environmental justice community. It's minority, it's low income, and it is already heavily overburdened with environmental impacts. So we commented on this issue to the Board of Supervisors for the County of Riverside, expressing our concern and requesting that they take into consideration the impacts that this community is already facing, and that to look at other opportunities to avoid these additional impacts, to avoid the additional trucks that would be coming into this neighborhood that already has 15,000 truck traffic a day. So we think that there's some data that should have been included and reviewed by the county in their environmental impact report. Some of the health data that looks at some of this potentially the very vulnerable subpopulations in this area. The elderly, the children, as we've heard, are significantly impacted by this type of bad air quality. So I'm pleased to be here today to just voice EPA's concerns, appreciation for the state to come down here and to look into these issues, and to the work that CCAJ has done to elevate these issues to our attention.
There's also Charles, who's a resident in Maryland Village.
Hi, my name is Charles Ranatua, and I live in Miraloma Village since 1974. I moved from LA area for better air to the Miraloma. Then was okay, but since then they started building all those warehouses, and we have thousands of trucks going back and forth which makes very bad pollution for us. We have to wash our driveway sometimes with the black salt sets in there. We have to clean our clotheslines before we hang the clothes. You can see that stuff a little bit everywhere. I understand we have people with cancer, asthma, and heart diseases, and that's because of that bad air we have in Miraloma. Not only the people, but I can see even the fruit trees, especially the peach family, they are dying. I hear apricots, plums, nectarines. After a few years giving fruit, they all dried up with a dark crust that makes in the branches, and they die. And that, I'm pretty sure, is because of that bad air we have from those trucks coming from the 81 Avenue, which runs north-south along the Miraloma village. Sometimes I can see those trucks. They have those pipes. They are higher than the wall is protecting us, and I can see that black trail of smoke hitting the houses and disappear. And I'm pretty sure if we had something higher, maybe part of that smoke will be stopped. So what we don't need over there is no more warehouses and no more trucks. Thank you for listening.
So first I want to thank Penny Newman for her decades of work in this community and many others. She comes at this work from her heart. She comes at this work because her own family has been impacted by these kinds of conditions. And as she said, if she doesn't fight for her own family and her community, who will? I'm here today to say we will. And we also will. The California Department of Justice has joined this suit because this suit is about giving a voice to a community that has gone without a voice for far too long. This lawsuit is about recognizing that there are standards that must be met and were created because we prioritize the health of our babies and our children. I went out to Miraloma, and I visited with families there, and I saw firsthand what is happening in that community. I saw, and I could collect on my own fingers, the debris and the dust and the filth that has been caused because of the pollution in that community. I could breathe it, I could taste it, I could feel it in my eyes. And so when we know that the County of Riverside itself has said that this community has faced a disproportionate level of harm to their health, we know it must be true. This lawsuit is about saying that we have to respect the significance of environmental impact reports. We must take seriously the reason for their being, and we must do everything that is possible to make sure that in encouraging, as we should, development and jobs in our community, that we also understand there's a way to encourage and promote jobs in our community that also promotes the health of our community. We cannot stand in this state to tolerate false choices that suggest that in order for business to thrive, families and their health must suffer. This lawsuit is about recognizing that this action simply is an action to require that the report will engage in a meaningful way with factors that mitigate the harm to that community. What this report has failed to do is provide that mitigation. The lawsuit is also about recognizing this report failed on another level, which is that it failed to outline adequate alternatives that would result not only in the benefit of the development, but also in promoting the health of that community. So unfortunately, it has come to this, that the California Department of Justice has to join in this lawsuit. But that day has come, and we are confident that everyone is on the same page, including all of us who are part of the lawsuit, that we're not trying to stand in the way of this development, but we will if it endangers the safety of that community.